PM. Madam Clerk, would you please take the roll?
Council Pro Tim Robinson.
Present.
Councilwoman Manica. Here. Councilwoman Martin.
Here.
Councilman Ashafi.
Present.
Council President Thomas.
Here, thank you very much. Moving on to item 3, it's the approval of the agenda. City Council, what's your pleasure? Having had the packet since earlier late last week, what is your pleasure on the agenda?
I approve with amendment.
Go right ahead, man. What would that amendment be?
Okay, hold on, let me find it. Pardon me?
You would like to approve with an amendment?
I second with the amendments. as
Hold on
well,
a second.
Council President.
Can we just, let's just make a motion. You're making a motion to approve the agenda with an amendment. If you would mind sharing us what that amendment would be?
5B,
5B, what is the actual amendment?
I would like to add the 6th bullet point to add putting the contents of our packets online.
Okay, so 5B,
Yeah,
so that's a
under
resolution.
the third whereas, there's 5 bullet points, and would like to add a 6th.
No, ma'am, I'm saying as far as the agenda, I'm asking you want to approve the agenda. You're asking for an amendment to the actual agenda. Tell me what your amendment is so that we can take note of it. You're saying 5B. Right now, 5B is a resolution to issue an RFP for new communication system.
Yes,
So you want to change that?
I want to add,
And so tell me where we're adding. I'll write it.
under the third whereas, there's 5 bullet points. I would like to add a 6th. Putting our council packet minus closed sessions into this resolution. Online.
I second.
So let me make sure so we are this is the item 5B. And Madam Pro Tem is suggesting that we approve the agenda, making an amendment to the following resolution. This is the resolution to issue an RFP for a new communication system. Whereas the citizens utilize a communication system to handle all mass notifications and resident engagement, and whereas the administration is looking for a more efficient, comprehensive platform as the current system is no longer meeting the city's needs, and whereas the following features will be desired in a new system to achieve the city's goal of improving communications with its residents and public at large. Bullet point 1, emergency response capabilities, road closures, water main breaks, boil water advisories, and police notifications. Bullet point 2, two-way communications with residents. Bullet point 3, email and text message capabilities. Bullet point 4, a resident request feature for potholes, overgrown yards, overflowing trash cans, etc., that route submission to the appropriate department. Bullet point 5, social media integration for broader and faster outreach. And you're suggesting that we add for bullet point 6 that the packets are posted. I don't know if that is, I can't speak to it.
Communication.
Okay.
Where does that go under administration?
Yeah, that's my point. This is an administrative, we're not a city council. We cannot tell the administration to make our packets. I know what you're trying to get done, but we can't put it there. We can't tell the administration, you make our packets as part of your new communication.
That's
system.
part of communication. So what's the process?
Because
I've been trying to do it
so
through a
I'm gonna
workshop through you.
so right now we're approving let me just make sure that we stay on task. We're approving the agenda. I understand what you're trying to get done. I just don't, it is not possible for us to dictate what the administration does as they acquire a new communication system. So as to the point, Madam, Ms. Manica, Mr. Ashafi supported the motion, but it's not, the form of the motion is not clear at this point.
Okay, so just
Yes,
point of
ma'am.
information. We want to approve the agenda. And then when we get to this particular item in the agenda, we can make amendments to the resolution
Or at least recommendations.
or recommendations to but first we need to approve the agenda. The amendment would be to the agenda and not to the resolution. Because
The resolution
the
is
bullet
on the
point
agenda.
is on the resolution.
Which is on the agenda.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. No, madam, I'm sorry. This is council meeting, Madam Mayor, with all due respect. So ladies and gentlemen,
We're amending the resolution and not the agenda.
That's what I'm saying. We
Because
wanna,
if we put it on the agenda, wouldn't it need a separate resolution?
No, ma'am. When we get to item B, we can slice and dice this thing any way we want to. We cannot go in and change the administration's resolution. We don't have the authority to tell them.
No, okay. What I'm
Okay, so-
asking, if it goes
Go ahead,
under-
Ms. Martin.
If it goes under administration on the agenda, because that's where we're at,
Yes, ma'am.
wouldn't that be C?
Potentially, yes.
That's what I'm.
You're saying add an item C?
Right.
Specifically, add an item C, Madam Pro Tem, would that be sufficient for you? Add an item C to address? Now, mind you, we can make any type of motion that we want to once we have this discussion open. It appears to me that that's what you want to occur. You want somebody to address this issue with, and I asked Mr. Lackey last week to prepare a statement for us. I asked him to get some facts so that he can explain to us how that actually works, because I don't think any of us know, myself included. So I asked him last week if he would be prepared to speak to that. So we're not in a position to amend the mayor's resolution, but we can add an item C so that we can address that, if that would be sufficient for you.
So, do we call for the vote?
Let's call for the vote on your recommendation. So right now we have a motion on the floor made by Council Pro Tem Robinson.
I'm still asking point of order.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe I just don't get it,
I-
but we are
Okay, hold on.
amending the agenda. And then when we get to the item, then you can make any changes or a suggestion of changes.
Correct.
We can talk about it, discuss,
Correct.
change the whole wording, but it's not till you actually get to the resolution. We're trying to change a resolution
That's
or
on the
add,
agenda. You keep saying that.
we're trying to add to a resolution, but we haven't even approved the agenda.
So why would I approve the agenda as is if I want to make a recommendation?
You're approving the agenda to discuss the item, to
Okay.
discuss all the things that's in the agenda. What's on the agenda
I made a motion.
is what we want to talk
Okay,
about.
so you're correct. You did make a motion, and this is why it was so important to have a parliamentarian in this room.
Mr. Ashafi.
So, Mr. Shafi, go
add
right
light
ahead
to
and I'm gonna
this.
call for the vote.
Okay, Council President, would it be easier if, if I simply, remove my support and we go along the lines of which was just discussed so that we can move this item along?
It would, sir.
Okay, so allow me to withdraw my support at this time. I will support Council Pro Tem when we get to this item later. And
Okay,
we'll
so we
amend
have
it
a motion on the floor
you.
made by Council Pro Tem to accept the agenda with the amendment of an actual resolution within the agenda. Do we have support?
So for the record, you're saying that my motion dies for lack of support?
Yes.
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 at the
So
moment.
make sure that that's on the record.
Yeah, please say it on the.
We're supposed to wait a prescribed amount of time. I would like to wait the whole 1 minute if possible to make sure that we do follow Robert's Rules of Order.
We don't have any rules.
Yeah.
Or-
We do, ma'am.
You keep saying that.
We do.
Saying that. No, we do not.
We do,
Hold
ma'am.
No,
We do. We're still
Okay,
operating.
Go
We're
ahead.
still
No.
operating under the rules. If you don't mind,
go ahead,
I promise you, if you were the
Go ahead.
chairperson, I would let you
Go
do
ahead.
whatever
Go
you needed
ahead.
to do.
go ahead. Go ahead.
The motion has died for a lack of support. Right now, the chair is waiting to entertain a motion. for the
Motion to
approval.
approve with amendments.
Yes,
I
sir.
have an
Mr. El Shafi, what is your suggested amendment?
I would like to add this resolution for Bishop Evans and street naming.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I believe that everyone has a copy of it. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Where would you like for that to go? It would have to go
Um,
under. So you can put it up for city council. It can become item
On the council affairs.
on the council
On
affairs.
the council affairs is fine.
Okay, do we have support? Everyone has a copy of the resolution. This is for the naming of the street.
Support.
That was you, Ms. Manica?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor from Council Shafi to approve tonight's agenda with the amendment of adding the resolution to add Bishop Lewis Evans as a secondary name for John R. Street from McNichols to Ferris Street. The recommendation would be to put that under Council Affairs. Is support offered by Councilwoman Manica. Questions, concern? 7A? 7A? Questions, concern? Dissent, I'll call for the vote on approval of the roll. Hearing none, would you call for the approval of the agenda?
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
No,
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
No.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes,
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. So we will add, the agenda is accepted as delivered. The only change will be adding the resolution provided by Mr. Al Shafi for the street naming under council affairs, making that item 7A.
Mr. President, can we add that ordinance to the list also,
Which one?
naming the streets?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Just send it a quick email.
I got it.
okay, I will.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
The agenda being approved, a quorum being held, we will proceed with our meeting. Going on to the approval of the proposed minutes for the virtual in-person regular meeting held on June 16th, 2025. City Council, what's your pleasure?
I want to make a motion to approve the proposed minutes of virtual and in-person regular meeting held
Second.
June 16th, 2025.
We have a motion on the floor for the approval of the minutes made by Councilwoman Martin, seconded by Councilwoman Manica. Ms. Manica, you had question, concern? Yes, ma'am. Okay,
I have concerns, Council President.
go right ahead, sir.
Okay, so in these minutes, it states that I voted yes for the amended budget, and that is incorrect. I voted no. I need that corrected.
Madam Clerk,
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Martin, would you like to amend your motion? Because that motion will be sufficient if you require the correction of the minutes.
I want to make a motion
That is a motion to approve with the
to
correction.
approve with the corrected proposed minutes of the virtual in-person regular meeting held June 16th, 2025.
Ms. Manica, does she still have your support?
Yes, yes.
That's sufficient. Thank you so much. Would you go ahead and call the roll for item 4, please?
Council Pro Tim Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes,
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, thank you very much. This is the portion of our meeting where we turn the floor over to Mayor McDonald. Don't take it personal, Mayor. I gotta pull the clock out on you too.
Oh, okay, Good afternoon, citizens, council, council president. This Wednesday is my coffee and conversation, which starts at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. I continuously ask you to come out and to get your questions answered directly from me at my meeting. This is not my meeting. When you come here and ask questions of the council, well, about the administration, the answers will not be here. So if you come to my meetings, which I have had since I started in this office, from at 10 a.m. in the morning or at 5 p.m. You come, sit, ask any question that you want. If we don't have the answer right there, we will write them down and get them taken care of. The music concert series started last week. It was a wonderful event for everybody that came out. Thank you. This week is jazz, 6 p.m. at the rec center, located at 10 Pickens. And we're on the Midland side where the new stage was donated. So this week, come out here live, jazz band. It's gonna be awesome. This Saturday coming up is our citywide rummage sale. If you have items you want to sell and get rid of at your house, this is the time to do it. Call up to City Hall, 313-252-0050, extension 240. Speak to Ms. Rollins and sign up. If you are trying to be a business vendor where you are selling your business wares, then there is a fee for that because there is a vendor fee. So please know that you would have to pay the fee for that. But if you're just selling rummage items, you come out, set up your tables. It's from 10 to 4 in the afternoon. This is a good time to clear out your house. Let's sign up on Wednesday, July 9th, before the close of day. Because we need to know a count. So far, we have over 20-something people coming out, so join us. We are continuing to make strides with our bringing developers and businesses to the table. If you know of someone looking to start a business or a housing development, please have them contact the CED department, set up an appointment and discuss the ideas. Due to extreme heat over the past week, we have seen increased water main breaks. I think 3 was held over a 5-day period where we had them repaired, but they were repaired within the same day. So if you see water somewhere spewing up out the ground from those spouts or something like that, please make sure you call the water department immediately so that they can send out someone to come look at that. A difference between a break and a flood, area that is flooding, the grates might need to be cleaned out, and if this Saturday, we had one that was just covered with debris. So I went out there and got that out, we raked it out, got it out, and the water started going down. Keep an eye on the grates on the street, and if you see something, let us know. Okay. Last but not least, I received two unsigned letters over the past 3 weeks. The letters are anonymous, so I would not be addressing them due to the safety issues, as well as not being able to send responses to the organization or the person who sent them. If you want to ask questions and get answers, please send an email to Ms. Rollins, which is at t.rollins@highlandpark.gov, or come to my coffee and conversation, like I said, on Wednesdays, either at 10 or 5. Remember that all anonymous letters are sent to the police department for inspections and sent over to make sure that they are legitimate letters from legitimate people. So it would be best that you sign those letters. If you do not sign them, they will just go over to the police department. Hope to see you all out this week. Make sure you come, and thank Bishop. Thank you for coming out and supporting the staff on Thursday. I appreciate it.
Okay, so ladies, and thank you very much, Madam Mayor. So ladies and gentlemen, for citizens' participation into the first section, there are only 5 items on the agenda. The agenda is from the administration resolution regarding city procedures for collecting credit and debit card payments, a resolution to issue an RFP for a new communication system. Under the fire department, it's a resolution for the Highland Park Fire Department authorizing the purchase of one 1999 Pure Saber fire truck from Swartz Creek. Swartz Creek, you probably got a good deal. Area Fire Department replacing engine 2, which was totaled in an accident. That's it. And under council affairs, we have a street naming. We only have 3 items tonight. Is there anyone that wants to come up to the podium to address the items that are on the agenda? You will have 2 minutes. Remember, please, agenda items only. After this, at the end of the meeting, you're free to address whatever you like, but we want to keep it nice and tight today and focus only on the agenda items as we always do. Once you state your name, I'll start your time.
Thank you. My name is Lisa Stolarski. I'm treasurer of Highland Park.
Are you speaking as a treasurer or as a citizen?
I'm speaking as treasurer tonight,
Okay,
sir.
go right ahead.
So I am asking City Council to table the item 5A, the credit card resolution. I applaud City Council for addressing the credit card issue. The credit card laws in Michigan were passed 30 years ago, and we have not had a credit card policy passed in all this time that I know of. So I think this is real progress. However, even though it says the finance director and treasurer will be jointly responsible, I was not consulted in the writing of the resolution, and I have not had a chance to consider it. So I would like to ask council to table it for next time, and then I will put my own input into it, and we'll see how that works out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Carla Oliver. This is actually, I didn't know I was going to get up and speak about payments. But one of the things that I noticed is that the ordinance technically says that all payments goes through the treasurer, but there are several different avenues for payments right now. And one in particular is of course, the water bills. There's right now charges for every $400, a charge of $4.95. For every $400 you pay. The question is because we as residents don't know what those city procedures that you guys are talking about, if that includes that as well. Is it all payments universally regarding the city, or is it particular departments or things of that nature? Because right now I'm kind of lost as to what that entails. And if the water bills of for every $400 payments are included in that as well.
Thank you.
Good evening, lovely people. I've been looking forward to seeing the council live
You
in living
mind stating your
color.
name? State your name.
Yes, my name's Robert Shannon. I'm
Okay.
also known as Seven, like the
Okay,
number. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn on this, but I did hear something mentioned about street names, and I'm definitely here to pull your coat about the godfather of street lit, Donald Goines. I did mention that prior, and I hope everyone was able to receive an email with some information, or at least just the understanding as to why it's overdue. So I just wanted to let you know I am here if you have any questions, or if there's anything that I can do to help streamline it or get it done. I definitely believe the community is behind it. I'm probably one of the youngest people in the room, but nonetheless, I dig it and I get it, and at the end of the day, he was like the Tupac for my people, for my elders. So, I would definitely do it for Pac. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And sir, would you mind staying at the end? Because for open citizens comments, we have a pretty full house. You might want to turn around and tell everybody what it is that you're trying to do.
Yes,
Because
sir.
we receive the emails, but the way the council is set up, the electorate decides. We were selected to decide. We don't disclose information. That's not the
I can
process
dig it.
here. It's not the process in Detroit either. Because you're here, it might be a good idea for you to be able to share with them what you're trying to do. I think it's very interesting. What
Yes,
you're
sir.
trying to
So
do.
should I stick around? Or?
Yeah, at the end of the meeting. At the end of the
I'll be
meeting.
happy to.
Okay, thank
Thank
you, sir. Okay, seeing no more people moving up towards the podium, we will move into our first item on the agenda. That is item 5 under administration. That's a resolution regarding the city pursuit collection of debt, credit card debt and card payments. So before we even, nope, no, I won't even do it. Go ahead, ma'am. So we're on to item 5A. City Council, what's your pleasure on item 5A?
I'll make a motion to table this till the treasurer gets a chance to look it over.
Second.
Yes,
So-
but by when?
So we have a motion on the floor. So now that it's open, we have a motion, we have a second. So open for deliberation. Let me go behind you. Ms. Square is not here today. Let me go ahead and remind the members of City Council per the charter what our roles are. The treasurer is our banker. The
Right.
treasurer is our banker. I bank with DFCU, right?
Receiver, money receiver.
I bank with DFCU. DFCU does not tell me how to take my money from my employer. So let's get this clear. The city of Highland Park is deciding what system the city is going to use to receive funds. That comes out of the administration. That comes out of the administration. It does not come out of the treasurer's office. The treasurer of the United States of America is either using Citibank or whoever the president or whoever Congress say they use. They don't decide for you. So this system that's being proposed is by the city administration. They know how our money comes in now. And so it doesn't require, again, it's the banker. DFCU does not tell me how to get my check by mail or by electronic transfer.
Council President,
Yes, sir.
there is no harm in tabling this until the next meeting.
I agree. I just want, again, so again, Mr. El Shafi, we could table it if you get 3 votes for it, but I'm just saying,
Okay.
it came to us this way and we need to discuss it. We need to deliberate. And I just wanted to drive the point home. Your banker does not decide how you receive your paycheck. You could change bankers at any time. You're an entity. And so if you decide I'm going to take Cash App or I'm going to take Zelle to get money into my bank or PayPal, it's up to you to decide. You know what I'm saying? So we decide if you use Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, wire transfer, you tell the money where you want it to go in your bank. The bank doesn't tell you.
Right, but I don't even, okay, so I get what you're saying, Mr. President, but at the same time, if there's any issues or discrepancies, your
Mhm.
banker better know what's going on. Your
I
bank better
agree.
know
I agree.
what's going on.
I agree.
You don't want to hear, I don't know.
I agree. I agree. I just think, again,
And then we're
My
talking about
role
the
is to-
city of Highland Park is a business.
exactly. So my role is just to provide balance. I don't have a dog in the fight. Just want to make sure that the facts are out there.
Okay, my question is, how long are we tabling this?
We shouldn't be tabling it at all. People cannot come here and pay their bills using their credit cards.
How long are we tabling this?
Yeah, so
Next council meeting.
next council meeting,
council
Ms.
meeting,
Manica,
okay.
I see your hand. Go ahead.
Now I have two questions,
Yes, ma'am.
just because I don't have it off the top of my head. What's that date for our next council?
In the
meeting?
21st?
21st.
Is it 21st?
Mhm.
July? And then here, I'm gonna go right into the resolution.
Yes, ma'am.
It says, whereas pursuant to MCL 129223 or not dash, parentheses 1, the finance director and the treasurer will be jointly responsible for determining the types of financial transaction devices that may be accepted. So
Say jointly.
what
Yes.
is that?
It says jointly. This document is written, so it doesn't matter who the treasurer is. It doesn't matter who the finance director is. What matters is that the finance director, who is in charge of the city's finance, will work with the banker on what is the most effective way.
Okay,
It doesn't exclude her.
I got that, Council President, but you just heard her come up here and say that nobody consulted her, nobody talked to her.
I did.
If we're gonna do things the right way. we
I did.
have to do things the right
So,
way.
okay, I got a question.
I don't think I
I don't
asked my
disagree.
question yet.
I don't disagree. I'm sorry, Ms. Manica, you did have the floor. I don't disagree.
It's a constant argument with this council.
No, it's
about
not. It's called deliberation. It's called deliberation. That's what we're here to do, is to deliberate. We're supposed to flesh these things out. Ms. Manica, forgive me. We did get into conversation.
When we're talking about financial transaction
Correct.
devices, are we speaking of, do they get to use a credit card? Are we talking about like the devices that you just said?
Card readers.
Card readers, Zelle, I mean, is that what that's referring to?
All of that is that.
I do have.
So with that being said, I've heard enough questions to justify my support for tabling this.
I did.
Okay, well,
I've heard enough. Keep going. Go ahead.
okay, I have two questions. First question is, isn't the treasurer considered accounts receivable, and then the director of finance would be the accounts payable? That's why they're jointly?
I can't answer that question without the
That's,
finance.
well, I mean, I
director.
wasn't asking you to answer it. I was just, it's a question to consider. And
Supposition,
then my
okay.
second part is, what are we doing for right now? We table this until the 21st. What are we doing for people who want to pay with card? Are we telling them to go get cash, go to a kiosk? What are we?
Don't get cash.
They have a card reader. We did a card reader last
Is that
year for
what
the
we're
treasury
doing?
department.
Like, what are we
did a
doing
card reader
now?
Last year for them.
So, you know what, let me just do this right quick. It says on the second page, so we have a resolution that says, resolution regarding the city credit card policy and procedures for collection of credit card debts and card payments resolution. Whereas the last independent audit of the city of Highland Park was advised by the auditor, you guys remember that during the
Right.
workshop, to consider implementing a policy and procedure for credit card use. And whereas the acceptance of payments by financial transaction devices is hereby authorized, and whereas, so this is whereas the acceptance of payments by financial transaction devices, which we don't have, card readers apparently now, is authorized, and whereas pursuant MCL 129.223, 1, the finance director and treasurer would be jointly responsible for determining the types of financial transaction devices that may be accepted. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the attached credit card policy and procedures for collection of credit cards and debts be hereby adopted. Here is the policy in question. Procedure for collection of credit card debts and card payments, introduction and purpose. The city of Highland Park, County of Wayne, State of Michigan, the city has adopted the guidelines set forth in this document entitled Procedures for the Collection of Credit Card Debts and Payments. There it is established that the city of Highland Park, the County of Wayne, and the state have been participants in this process, has adopted these guidelines set forth in this procedure titled Procedures for the Collections of Credit Card Policies, herefore referred to as the procedures. The purpose of creating the procedures is to establish written city council approved procedures for the collection of payments via credit cards and debit cards. These procedures are made pursuant to the recommendations of the city of Highland Park auditors and in compliance with Michigan law. Again, these are all things that supersede whoever sits in the chairs. Collection of credit card payments. Number 1, confirm the payments amount with the customer, inform them of any applicable convenience fees prior to the processing of the transaction. 2, verify the name of the credit card. Debit card matches the name on the customer's driver's license and state ID. Number 3, process the credit debit card payment using the terminal and return the card promptly after approval. Change is not allowed for credit card, debit card payments. For every transaction, a receipt must be issued. BS&A receipt of a pre-numbered handwritten receipt or presented to the customer. Do not accept any telephone payments directly. Okay, so what this is basically telling me is we don't currently have this in place. This very simple system that if you were to go to DTE to pay your electric bill or to go to even to the water department to pay, we don't have this in place at the treasurer's office for taxes. And so what I surmise from this is, and they've been working on it for months, that the administration who is responsible for the city's funds needs this thing done.
Can we call for the vote?
Yes, ma'am. Again, this is the discussion. I typically, when people want to discuss, I let them. So very rarely do I want to make sure that it's a balanced point of view, because like I said earlier, the number of questions that exist already lean me towards supporting the motion made by Mr. El-Shafi. Go ahead, madam, and then we'll go ahead and call for the vote.
Council Pro Tem Robinson.
No, I'm sorry. Miss Martin, Miss Manica had her hand up. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miss Manica.
I understand. I just think we're trying to establish a policy for this, but I just want to make a general statement because this seems to come about a lot. Anything that seems to pertain to the treasurer or the mayor. And it's like we're trying to give power to somebody or take away power. At this point, either we're going to figure out what is the treasurer's job and how does it apply with the mayor. But in most cases, and I've looked it up several times, the treasurer responds to the mayor or administration, not the other way around. And be careful. I'm just saying it to all of us. Be careful how much power you give anybody. But this seems like this is a recurring thing. And I just want the policy and a procedure for a credit card issuance or card payments. It's just real simple. It's not about, oh, well, they didn't give me the right to this. If it's a good policy and good procedure, because the only thing I would say here is, tell me what the actual policy is.
Correct.
That's what's really missing. It ain't about who's seen it. It's what is the actual policy and procedure. It's not about who wrote it, who's seen it. I just don't see the policy itself. And that's what we should be really requesting. Can we have the actual written policy and procedure to the credit card payments?
Yep.
Take the vote.
That's exactly what the treasurer said. We do not have one.
So listen, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Manica, you opened up a can of worms, and I'm going to make sure that can of worms is thoroughly addressed here. So if we're going to talk about go by the book, we're going to take this vote. If you look on the screen right now, it says, this is our charter. This is the law. Vacancies in office, section 410. Item 9, failure to take the oath of office or file the bond required for the office as required by law in this charter or city ordinances.
Why are we doing that?
Because Ms. Manica raised a valid point, and we have to go to the law. We go to the law. At present, the treasurer is not fully in her role.
At present, can you explain the policy?
Excuse me, madam, if you were the chairperson, I would not interrupt you.
Excuse me.
And so far tonight, I have not.
Put the policy up there.
So to Ms. Manica's point, we're about to take the roll, Mr. El-Shafi. It was your motion. To Ms. Manica's point, she made a point that we are, as a body, going outside of the guidelines and giving power to people who don't have that actual power. Pursuant the actual charter, the law, Mr. Larsky is not the treasurer. Okay? So would you call the roll on Mr. El-Shafi's motion to table this item? I'm sorry, on Madam Pro Tem's, we have a motion on the floor made by Madam Pro Tem to table item 5A. That's a resolution regarding the city procedures for collecting of credit card payments. It was seconded by Mr. El-Shafi. Would you please call the roll for item 5A?
Council Pro Tem Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica.
No.
Councilwoman Martin.
We're voting for table?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi.
Yes to table.
Council President Thomas.
Yes to table. Table until when?
Next council.
Next
meeting.
council.
So this will be tabled until
And
the
I
next council
apologize for
meeting.
any inconvenience to anyone that you have to bring cash until we get a policy for this
Yeah.
credit card.
That'll give the two entities
Aren't they
time to
using
get
the
together and work it
Yes.
out.
And get bonded.
Aren't they using a credit card?
No, they're not.
Oh, they're not.
Let's get that done. Let's get bonded too. Let's get that done. How long have we been not bonded?
So we are we are in between items here. And to your point, Ms. Martin, our role here, our only job here is to provide for the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Highland Park and to follow the charter. As imperfect as it is, we are not following the charter. There are charter violations all over the place. All over the place. All over the place. People walked into this room and
Excuse me.
submitted a budget
Excuse me.
in violation of the charter.
Excuse me.
People are actually deferring from the mayor. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Item 5B, resolution to issue a RFP for a new communication system.
So many times.
City Council, what is your pleasure on item 5B? This is a resolution to issue a RFP for a new community. That is a request for a
Motion to approve with Council Pro Temp's amendments.
that would
Wait,
be,
what?
okay, so again,
I remember.
we have to, okay, so we gotta have those spelled out.
I second.
Okay, now, here's the thing, and we're gonna go into open discussion, and I don't mind. We're gonna get this vetoed because we're crossing the line. We don't have the ability. We do not have the ability. I'm just saying, I don't want it to get vetoed because it's done.
Okay, so Council President, can
Yes.
I simply say this? Okay, so the administration is asking us to approve an RFP for her communication systems. Then she's going to come back after she gets those quotes. She's going to come back and ask this council to finance that exact communications. My question is, why would she veto us tagging along with her communication if she wants us to pay for it? Explain that one to me.
Okay,
would she veto?
so
Let's
we
Why
have,
would she veto it?
Ju-
If
ju-
she wants, all I'm simply saying,
we're
if she
not,
wants her
the item
money,
is not on the item is not open, well, it is, it open for discussion. We have a
all
motion,
I'm
I'm sorry.
simply saying,
forgive me.
Council President,
Yes.
if she wants the money to pay for this communication, then she has to be willing to work with this council, to allow this council
I
to
see you,
get
Ms.
this
Brown.
council packet information out to the residents, so they
Right.
got a right to see
Right.
what's going on in this council packet. Otherwise, she can pull this resolution and take it back to the drawing board.
Okay, so I see that
One
the
of the two.
communication director is on the phone, but before
We
she gets
approve the
started.
motion.
Huh?
She should be
You
more
gotta
than
approve
willing
the
to work
motion.
with us here.
We gotta approve the motion.
Because last week, we were just talking about how are we going to
I see.
fund this? Now, my question
Mr.
is,
Shafi,
how
we
are
gotta
we
get
going
the-
to fund this right here?
So we're putting the cart before the horse because we have not approved
Let's get your motion approved.
let's get your motion.
Okay,
So what
Well,
was
we
that
just call
amendment
for the
though?
vote.
I just want to write the
aren't
amendment.
we
What's the
adding-
amendment
okay.
part? What we adding?
Put the council packets online as part of this resolution for communication systems.
there's
So-
nothing wrong with that.
Now, wait a minute.
I see nothing wrong
So
with it.
let's be clear here. We have a motion on the floor. We have support. We need to discuss this before we take a vote on it.
No. I just need to know the amendment that we're making.
She,
Putting the
To add
council
the
packet
Just add the
online.
council packet
Yeah.
online.
Yes.
okay. Now, you have that? So let me go back to
Jesus.
Mr. Lackey. Are you there? I see you, Ms. Brown, but I didn't have Mr. Lackey come in.
I am here, yes.
Okay, so just give me just a second. So at the last council meeting in council affairs, members made a motion. Members made a motion that our council packets should be prepared and put online. During that discussion, we went back and forth, and the question was asked, who's going to do it? I asked that question as a chairman. Who's going to do it? And the reason why I asked that question as a chairman is because I had just a little bit, just a teeny tiny bit of, I've never interrupted you, ma'am. I had just a little teeny tiny bit of knowledge about what that was going to look like. And as we discussed it, Mr. Al-Shafi said, if you give me access to the website, I'll upload it myself. I didn't say anything beyond that.
You said that?
I said that.
Okay, so rather than to debate the facts, knowing what I know about what it's going to take to do this, I went to the source. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, tonight we have a packet that is, let's call it 30 pages. Let's call it 30 pages tonight. We have 3 items on the agenda. This is the lightest packet that we've had in 2025. 3 weeks ago, we had a packet that was thing in my hand. It was easily a couple hundred pages of documents that was provided to us for the safe streets. So both of those items, this packet that we have in front of us, as well as the large document that we had that was several hundred pages, will both have to be uploaded online. And I asked the question, who is going to do it. The reason why I asked that question is because it's not as simple as just saying we need to upload the stuff online. Most of the paper that we receive, it has people's addresses, driver's license numbers, phone numbers, private information. Sure. But the idea is to get it scanned and redacted. The city of Detroit we have no staff. The city of Detroit, each person has access to about 25 people in their staff. We have no staff, zero. So I asked that question, how it was going to be done, because I knew it was not just something that we waved our hand at. So Mr. Lackey, would you please explain to city council what you explained to me earlier this week when I called you and asked you, paint a picture for me of what it would look like to deliver what the council said that they wanted to have happen in that resolution, in that motion that was made last week.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
I can't hear.
Could you turn them up? The remote control is right there. If we could turn them up so everybody in the gallery could hear. Okay, Mr. Lackey, go for it.
All right, good evening, honorable council.
Good evening.
All right, you can hear me?
Yes.
All right, so I actually proposed this about 5 years ago, that we go to a digital council packet system. However, there are a lot of moving parts that go into this. It's not as easy as just uploading it online because of the.
Again, I'm gonna have a volume check. You said it's what?
I said it's generally not as easy as just uploading it online, because there's a lot of challenges there, especially when you get into packets that are at 800 pages, 500 pages, 400 pages. Those have to be indexed. They have to be split into sections. They have to be reviewed to ensure that they don't put the city in any kind of civil or legal jeopardy. In addition, by law, I'm required to go through the clerk's office to achieve this. The clerk is a sovereign elected official who would have to get this done. She's the one who handles it now. Her office handles all uploading of all documents to go on the website. IT does not do it. So we did look at the solution. It was quite cost prohibitive, and we couldn't pull it off. It didn't make sense to pull it off at that time. So that was the challenge 5 years ago. And I'm happy to take a look at it, talk to some other municipalities. It's probably going to cost more than the threshold and would have to go out to an RFP if you were to, get a system that is specially designed to do this, in addition to getting legacy records in that system as well. So it's a process. It's something that has to be worked out, thought about, and executed, in order to fulfill your wishes.
Go for it. Go for it.
What contractors, so let me ask this question, because with this RSP, we're just asking for them to send in their quotes, right?
So
Is there
so there is already a budgeted communication system that we've paid for I don't know, maybe the last 5-6 years. So that's already in the budget. So we wouldn't be asking for any additional funding for this. Actually, it would be a decrease in what we're paying now. This system is more geared towards our public relations person and is more about communications with the public about things that are going on in the municipality, in the locality. This is strictly about enhancing communication with the residents. But Ms. Director Brown, Lakeisha Brown can talk more about that.
Put a pin in that. So that means so this came to us. So we're hold on a second. We're commingling topics here. So this is about communication tools to communicate with the citizens for the administration. And now we are.
So Council President.
We're pigeonholing our.
Okay. I get it, Council President. So allow me to adjust my vote, because now that you made it clear exactly what it is, I rescind my support. I will not give you a platform to campaign on city dime. She can campaign on her own dime.
I get it. I get
I
it.
take my vote back.
So there's no, so that,
Campaign on her own dime. And this is just for public relations. So this is for YouTube, Facebook.
no, this is
etc.,
for the
emails to
city.
reach out to you and to campaign to you on our dime. I don't think so. No.
I don't know
No,
if that
no.
was, it says
I don't
water
think
main.
so.
That's
What does it
exactly what
say
he
here?
just said.
What it says here,
That's exactly what he just said.
okay.
And the answer is
let's
now
read
no
it.
for me. So
Let's
I
read it.
withdraw my support.
Okay, so that means your motion, Madam Pro Tem, to approve item 5B, you would withdraw your support as well?
I'll give her support.
I'm gonna give her money to campaign on our
But
dime.
that's giving us support with the
Crazy.
amendment?
I'm gonna
Yes.
make the motion since he was withdrawing my support,
Yes,
and I'm
ma'am.
going to make a motion myself
Okay,
to put the council packets online up under this communication system.
and so I'm supporting.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor made by Council Pro Tem Robinson for the approval of item 5B, resolution to issue a RFP for, we're just issuing an RFP. We're just issuing an RFP.
By our next city council meeting.
I don't know how long it's gonna take for the RFP. And we have support by Councilwoman Manica. Go ahead, Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just as a point of clarity, so is the amendment proposed that would add an extra bullet point to the third whereas, where it would state after the bullet point, add council packet online?
Add council's packet online. I believe that was
Under the
determined.
third whereas,
Yes.
it will be bullet point number 6.
Can I speak to this matter, please?
Huh?
I see you, Ms. Brown. Yes, you will. Hold on one second. What you said?
Who put the agenda on?
Who puts the agenda online? The clerk's office.
Who puts it online? It used to be online.
The clerk puts
It
it
used to be
on.
online.
It's not online. The
It
agenda's
used to be
not-
online under y'all, under Wyndham.
It's
under
online
Lindsay
now.
It's
Porter. We
online
used to get
now.
computers down
It's
there.
online now.
It's just not extensive.
We used to
She's
get
asking
computers
who
down
puts the
back
agenda
online.
online.
We used to be able to view the budget online. We can't see nothing no
The
more.
online, but we never put packets on. It's always been the
Aren't there
agenda.
other municipalities?
Under the mayor.
Okay, so,
They do it with funding.
wait a minute, point of,
Agenda,
They do it with
no
funding.
agenda.
Ms. Brown, if Ms. Brown is on the
We
phone,
don't
she's been
have the
waiting
capability
patiently
to do
like
it.
speak to the actual resolution. And then Ms. Manica, would you like to go before her?
I really would.
Okay, Ms. Manica, Ms. Brown, you got to hold on. Go ahead, Ms. Manica.
this RFP is for a new communication system. So those communication systems, this is my question to Ms. Brown, don't they already have, or we tell them what we want? Or do they already have a list of things that they come with this communication system?
Ms. Brown, would you go ahead and mute your?
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So the current communication system that we have, which is through Granicus, offers the text and email updates. However, it is very difficult for residents to sign up for the service. Along with the resolution that you have, shows samples of some of the bulletin reports. And as you can look on that document, it shows that we don't have much engagement. So the reason for me asking to go to RFP is so that we could find a provider who would offer solutions that would be easier for residents to sign up and stay up to date with the things that are taking place in the city. When there are water main breaks, road closures, boil water advisories, and things of that sort that residents need to know about, and they do not have the proper access to the information, it leaves a gap in communication. And so by us going out to RFP to search through different providers who offer the solution that we currently need now, that will enable us to bridge that gap so that more people are in the know. Because as of right now, if I do not personally sign them up, or they do not go through the website to get signed up and take the proper steps, they will not receive notifications. Notifications go out every Sunday at 12 o'clock. There's also notifications that go out in regards to press releases and so forth. So this RFP is not for any type of political gain. this RFP is specifically for communication for residents so that they know what is happening within their city. Also, I need some type of support where there's two-way communication, where residents are able to reply and to send information into the city, which would get disseminated across the proper departments to keep us abreast of what's happening, because we don't know what's going on at all times. So allowing for residents to be the eyes and the ears on the streets for us to let us know when things are happening will be a benefit to not just us, but to everyone in the city. So this specifically is to enhance the current communication system, because right now Granicus does not solve the problems that we currently have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Detail. All right. Yes, I see you, Ms. Madam Pro Tem, and then Ms. Manica, you got another question?
No, I do not.
Okay.
When I worked under Mayor Yap, may he rest in peace, as his senior coordinator, me and Ms. Brown went to every senior building. They brought down laptops, radios, CBs, and whatever, and we registered them one by one. So it can be done if you put the work in. And so with that being said, please call for the vote.
Ms. Brown, you were about to say something?
I was.
Can we talk?
So during that time period, yes, we did go to the senior buildings. We had a few people that came down, but considering the number of people within those buildings and considering the amount of people that we received, it was a very low response. And so utilizing systems that allow for them to actually import phone numbers and emails automatically from the U.S. Postal Service would give us a heads up, and plus would give us more ground to cover initially. Because as of right now, only 1,100 people are signed up for text and email updates. That is under 10%. So we need way more people to be active and to have notification. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor made by, I'm sorry? It's not, it's only one way. It's not two way. So we have a motion on the motion is to approve the resolution, but to amend it by making the addition of council's packets a part of this communication system request for quotes. Again, this is just a request for proposals. We're not approving any final vendor. This is just a request for quotes. We have a motion on the floor made by Council Pro Tem Robinson, Councilwoman Manica. Would you please call the roll for me, Madam Clerk?
Council Pro Tem Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Shafi.
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on under item 6 for the fire department, resolution of the Highland Park Fire Department authorizing the purchase of
Motion to
one
approve.
1999 Pierce. I would appreciate it if I would appreciate right. There's a habit here, there's a trend that I would like to seize. I let you finish your sentences. Let me do my job here. This is a resolution of the Highland Park Fire Department authorizing the purchase of one 1999 Pierce Saber fire truck from the Swartz Creek Area Fire Department, replacing engine 2, which was totaled in an accident. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not just reading this for my health. The clerk, based on the law, I have to read this into the record in order for it to be properly recorded. It is video recorded, but the clerk has made it clear that I need to read this into the record, and I would appreciate being able to finish my sentences without being interrupted every time. Like middle school, I would appreciate that. I would appreciate that. So, sir, what did you have Mr. El-Shafi, you made a motion?
Yes, I made a motion.
We have a motion on the floor by Councilman El-Shafi, seconded by Council Pro Tem Robinson. Mr. El-Shafi, did you have questions or only you?
Yeah. I understand that the truck is used.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the future, I hope that we can find something new for the fire department.
As far as I was explained or was told, we're in the capital improvement now, and we do have a capital improvement plan,
Okay.
but that's 3 to 5 years out. We need something now.
Okay, well, I understand that, and I wait to approve what comes new for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions, concerns, consents?
First, there is, I have mine.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Where is this fire truck that's totaled?
It was totaled actually 3 years ago. It was hit on the Davison Freeway at a car fire.
So you said it was totaled 3 years ago and you just asked him for.
The previous administration refused to replace it.
3 years.
30 months, actually.
I'm sorry.
You've been in our seat for 3 years.
I apologize, ma'am. I was not the chief at the time, and the previous mayor was the one who elected not to replace this truck at the time.
You didn't communicate with the previous fire.
The previous fire chief didn't want to replace it either.
Why not?
At the time, we had 3 old trucks, 3 engines. We currently now only have 1 old engine.
So where are they? Are they still at the DPW yard?
I do believe it was scrapped.
All right, thank you.
Oh,
Ms. Martin, you had a question?
Yeah, which one, 'cause there's 3 different ones here, correct?
yes, ma'am. Two of them are actual. I included, we looked at other trucks. The other 2 trucks are the same age, equivalent, more money and out of state. Just
I
as
noticed
an
that.
example.
Like there's one in like Pennsylvania.
Yes,
there's
ma'am.
Another one for,
Yes, ma'am.
okay,
Those were just examples to let you know that we looked into other options other than just this one from Schwartz Creek.
okay. Are they NFPA approved?
The one from Schwartz Creek is NFPA approved. It actually had a pump test last year, and it has been in service with their department until it was replaced with a brand new one last year.
Okay, and then my last question is, how much would it cost us to get it, what is it called, like re-decaled or something like that?
According to the resolution, I included
I've seen that,
$1,000 for that. I don't
Okay.
think it'd cost 1,000,
Okay,
but we added 1,000 for that.
okay, and so you said you're going with which one?
Uh,
The creek?
Yes, the Schwartz Creek one. And there's an email from the chief also in that
I read
packet.
it, yeah.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
got that. Okay, it seemed like from what I read, that's the one you're going with. Okay, no more questions.
All right, thank you.
Mr. President.
Madam Pro Tem?
Chief Pavey, was that truck insured?
I'm sure it was. All of the trucks, I do believe all city vehicles are.
So when that accident occurred, you didn't get any insurance payment from it to purchase another truck?
No, ma'am.
So what happened with the insurance?
I can't answer that. That was above me at the time.
That was in the previous administration. It was the YAP administration?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So that's another lawyer, what I gotta pay for. Thank you very much, Chief.
okay, so we're gonna go ahead, Madam, Ms. Manica,
I got one more.
go ahead.
How's the truck?
So you said.
Tap the nice file, the 2 directional files.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Nice,
Yeah,
right?
we haven't had a
Whatever,
chance to
you did
use
not
that.
drive
Okay, all right.
You did
She
not
found
drive it. You
Yeah,
didn't
oh,
even
it's the
drive
one
it.
that found it.
Absolutely.
Miss
She
Manica,
did come and see it. She did come and look at it.
Ms.
Okay,
Manica, you had a
nice.
question on the
You
matter?
only looked at the plow, you didn't drive it.
Go ahead, ma'am.
I wouldn't
Ms.
see
Manica,
that.
you had a question on this matter before we took the
Is this
vote?
the email?
Yes, ma'am. The email was included because the initial price was $30,000. They lowered it to 25,000, and then that was the last email that he sent that he lowered it to $15,000.
I was gonna say, so now we're at 15, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to make sure.
Plus $1,000 for
The
letting
decal,
decal.
the decal.
Oh, okay.
All
All
right,
right.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item 6, please? It's a resolution for the authorization to purchase a new fire truck.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes, because I will never hold a city.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes,
Councilman Ashafi,
Absolutely.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to direct my comment to the 2 bailiffs in the room today. Grandstanding, anything over 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I want them out of here fast. You understand? I'm not arguing. We're not doing that today. Oh, we're not doing that at all, moving forward. So 2 minutes, and the normal time is 2 minutes. I'm going 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Because I know 2 minutes is not enough for many people, but the campaigning and grandstanding, we're not gonna do it. So right now it's a citizens' participation. Citizens can talk about, yes, ma'am, Ms. Manica.
I'm sorry. Is there any way that I could just interrupt so they could get out? I just wanted to say something to the fire department.
Go right ahead, ma'am.
I just want to say Thank you to our Highland Park Fire Department. I don't know, I got good calls about you again this week. And also I seen it posted on social media, but I know also for my own self, we have a great fire department. They're very empathetic. They handle everything thoroughly. And I've seen them really work and be really considerate to the residents that they have been helping. And again, if you haven't seen it, I know this past week, just a few days ago, they got a good report or on social media from residents and from pastors. So I just want to say thank you for your job and your consistency, and please keep up the work.
You are the only
Thank you.
department I get no complaints on.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move on to citizens' comments.
Thank you, Chief.
The agenda says 2 minutes. I'm going 2.5. I don't like interrupting people. At the end of the 2.5 minutes, if you would be kind enough to yield, I would appreciate it. It's not my preference to interrupt. 2 minutes is not enough. It's not enough in Detroit. It's not enough in Grand Rapids. Ain't enough in Lansing. But that is the way that the city council meetings are set up. So I'm going over on purpose because I don't like interrupting people. I want you to be able to have your voice heard. So once you state your name, I'll start your time, but not before you state your name.
Hi, my name is Jamil Edwards. I live on East Grand. I believe the city trucks are self-insured, all city vehicles. That's why you didn't get a check. For those who do not know me, I'm a retired lieutenant from Highland Park. 2 times tonight, Vice President Pro Tem said call for the vote. By law, Robert Rules of Order, you're supposed to stop discussion. Nobody is supposed to talk. You're supposed to vote. And you do need a parliamentarian real bad.
Yeah, we do. Thank you, ma'am. It's part of the reason why I asked for one on my first day on the job.
We can still get one.
Go right ahead.
Next person.
Hello, my name is Carla Oliver. There's 2 points I want to make. The first one is, and I wasn't expecting to speak up for the fire department, about the fire department. I really enjoy them and I think they do a great job. However, I am concerned as to how we spend money for a pickup truck, but now we need 2 fire trucks. That's where I am confused as to efficiency and cost savings and logistics come in. Because earlier this year, we just purchased a pickup truck for them when we needed fire trucks. That fire truck, if from my understanding, the cost was about $25,000. I think I heard that could have covered 3/4 of 2 fire trucks for 1 pickup. So I don't understand, again, the logic behind that. But my main reason for coming up here is about the rental ordinance. I know that you guys are working on a rental ordinance. However, the current rental ordinance, and I'll continue to say it, is repealed. It's on record to be repealed, which I don't understand how it's being strong-armed and unlawful for people to have to do inspections or any registering when it's unlawful. It's unlawful. And I don't understand why the city lawyers and everyone else is not making this known, because it's unlawful what's happening right now. But in regards to that ordinance, I would recommend, because not all cities have an ordinance like this, I would recommend that it's an inspection when there's a complaint against a renter. We spend more time now trying to strong arm and go up against owners for rental properties when Highland Park properties aren't being taken care of. We can't force owners to get 7 to 30 days to repair codes that are astronomical and make no sense, because you shouldn't be going into their homes in the first place. But on top of it, when we got well, for example, the apartments on Woodward that look a hot mess and totally unsafe, work on that first instead of trying to come after owners for stuff inside their homes. But I would say the ordinance, if it is an ordinance, I would say that it needs to focus on renters that have complaints. Not all renters, owners are doing that. So, thank you.
Thank you.
So before I go on to the next person, that 30 seconds makes a difference, because in many cases I find certain people that regularly come, and I thank people for coming, that they just need a little bit more time. So it's gonna stay on paper the way that it is, but I'm already seeing now that additional time may allow me the courtesy that I feel I'm forced to revoke based on what's written here. So this might become a thing. So if you don't mind coming to the podium and starting next, ma'am.
Hello, council. My name is
Hi.
Benita Lavelle, and I spoke last time on
Yes,
June
ma'am.
16th about the property in 92 Tennyson, the adjacent property. I said that it had been sold. I was not consulted, and I haven't heard anything from anyone. Has anyone looked into what I spoke about last time we met?
Can I ask you a question? Did you talk to the mayor or the CED department? The young, that, I don't want to get into, I'm not supposed to. I just want to ask a question. Did you talk to the mayor or the CED department at all?
I'm not talked to anyone. When I last left, I talked to Miss Manica. I had people reach out to her. I haven't heard anything.
They were going to reach out to you, but if you would please just make an appointment with them so they
Make
can
an
explain it.
appointment with who?
Make an appointment with building and CED.
They're responsible for property
They're
sales.
responsible for it, but because one, we're open like this, I wouldn't be able to really discuss your specifics.
Exactly.
So if you can make an appointment to meet with them so they can talk about that situation.
Okay, where is it? Can you, when?
Right here in
is
this building
done?
downstairs, real
Okay,
estate. You go to the
and
real
what
estate
time
window.
Are they open tomorrow?
9:00.
Yes, ma'am.
9:00 at CED?
The CED department and
CD.
building.
Okay.
Yeah, right at the real estate. It should be the real estate window.
Ms. Lavelle, I did send an email. I just haven't gotten on the spot. Right after the meeting.
Okay, all right, because I'm
All
gonna
right.
pursue this, because I know that I'm, within my rights, 7 years taking care of something, somebody else can, it's not right for them just to come in and be able to purchase it without anything being said to me. And I took care of it for a reason. I'm a researcher and I wanted to make a garden out of that based on plants and herbs that people are being healed throughout the world. I'm a researcher. And based on plants and things, especially in the continent of Africa, I came back from South Africa last year. So when I bought the property, I wanted that land for something. That's why I maintained it like I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And just, so we're not, the city council and the city administration are two different bodies. We are the board of directors for this municipal nonprofit corporation. We approve the agenda items that they bring to us. Each individual council member has the ability to communicate with the administration and leverage arguments on behalf of the citizens, but we don't dictate, nor does the city council of Detroit dictate what Mayor Duggan does. We have a specific role, and I feel hindered or hampered when people come to us because this is the only forum that you have to bring your concerns, but we are kind of unable to. I don't want to use the term inept. We just don't have the. Yes, man. Yes, man. I just wanted to, because they're going to ask us more. I know it's going to happen.
We
I'm
work
sorry.
for the citizens, and this is what I was.
Yeah.
supposed to tell us
Yeah.
what's
So
So I didn't understand what he was saying.
I'm just, okay. All right. I made my statement. You made yours, ma'am. Let me go ahead and let this brother go and get his 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Go right ahead, brother.
Hello again.
How are
guess
you,
this-
sir?
This is the proper time. I just didn't want to miss it, Once again, my name is Robert Shannon. Everyone calls me Seven, like the number. I'm an artist. I guess I'll explain to, anyone who doesn't know. I have been taking on the legacy of Donald Goines. I'm producing the biopic for Donald Goines, the godfather of urban literature and your favorite rapper's favorite writer. So, it's been getting deep. I've been falling in all kind of holes, Nina Simone, and everything is coming to a realization that, certain things need their stories told. We need to remember, and we need to make sure that we honor them. And Donnie is very revered in our community. I have traveled, it's not just this block, even though this is the block he talked about. He specifically wrote about the people that lived here, that lived across the street, talked about the streets. That's how they know about some of the stuff. People my age, we don't even realize we walk the way we walk, talk the way we talk, kind of from Donald Goines, But Donnie was a revered and still is revered. And I just believe that, being the godfather of street lit, being the cat that actually taught these jokers how to read the street signs, because I've had lots of people tell me that they learned how to read because of Donald Goines.
Mhm.
You know, they forced themselves, you know, so I just think it's proper. I think it should have been done. I think it's easy. I don't think anybody should have got a mural, a street sign, or anything else before Donald Goines. And I'd like to help in any way because I know where it will be easy peasy. You know, I know lots of places just in this area that, you know, the people would sign off or help with something like that. So I just want to give him his honor, because to go from dope fiend to Kenyatta, it's a lot there, you know. So we should have that. You know, you should represent that.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you for staying. Yes, ma'am, how are you? If you state your name, please.
Hi, my name is Michelle Johnson. I'm a resident of 49 West Buena Vista.
Yes, ma'am.
I have one thing to say and then I get into, you can cut me off. On April the 25th, I called 911. They dispatched me to Highland Park Police Station. I had an incident where the police was arguing back and forth with me or whatever, and I couldn't get help. They were asking me, why am I calling them? In the meantime, it took my husband an hour to get an ambulance. He had a stroke. That's one. They said it's Detroit fault because y'all switchboard go to them. So I'm gonna let that go. I came up here and did make a complaint. The incident that's going on at 42 Avalon at Shu's house. Everybody call her Mama Shu. Her name is Shu to me. I live right behind her basketball court. I couldn't get home with the same guy that had a stroke in the car. I sat on the corner for 4 o'clock and didn't get in my house to 7:45. I have a handicap signs that I pay for. I know you can park in them if you have a handicap plaque or anything. That's not the case. As I'm trying, we can't even get down our street when she have these events. The day before that, she put a gate up to the back of my house. I had someone coming to cut trees. So why is it a gate to my house? I called the mayor and asked, is the city doing any work? She said, no, it was her. Oh, they must have put it in the wrong place. They'll come back tomorrow and move it. I need a two-way in and out. In the process of going down to my street and leaving my husband on second, sitting in a hot car, to get the police to come and tow the cars or get traffic so we can get through. It's 8 guys going through my yard to her parties. I'm begging them not to cut through my yard. I've been in my house 26 years. My husband have owned that house since 1968. I have a 100-year neighbor across the street, 78 next door. My husband is 71. Everybody's calling me. Nobody can get home. This has been going on before y'all, this city council. I've been coming complaining. I'm coming back to complain and nobody's doing nothing. She has no respect. We don't get a letter saying we're having an event. When you get home, you can't get home. We're having something to notify us. And I know it's not the city job. They say it's going to be 100 or 200 people. It be thousands of people. Thousands. When I tell you the police had to drive on the sidewalk and they had guys jumping out their car, running up on them. Highland Park Police Office is not big enough to handle if a shootout happened. If something happened to go wrong. And if they do, they run into my yard because everything is, this is her basketball court. This is my house. I'm open for all the fireworks, all the noise. I've been going through it for years. I had brain surgery. I have MS. I was paralyzed for 17 years. I have served good in this city with kids from school, ACLU and everything. I'm asking for peace, but just like you said, President, Warren wouldn't do it. Roseville wouldn't do it. Detroit won't do it. We need a block. We need a wall. I'm sick of her. She don't do nothing for the community. Everything she do comes out from outside the community. Right. And we're dealt with that. I can't sleep at night. I own a 2-family flat. My kids moved out the house.
Okay.
Because we have nowhere to park. We can't come home. And if I need 911 now with her having these events every summer, I can't get help for my husband. I pay taxes. I don't rent.
Okay.
I was there before her, and I'm gonna be there when she gone because I'm praying to God it's all removed. And she don't let them park on her block. Her block is blocked off.
So I didn't want to interrupt you. You like about 4 minutes now.
I'm gonna go.
I didn't want to stop. I mean,
but I'm
I got you.
I'm,
I got you.
that orange suit be looking good some days. I just know I can't even do too many.
I got you. I don't want to break the rules because I can't go 4 minutes with everybody. But thank you, ma'am, for coming up and voicing your concerns. Go ahead, ma'am, sir.
Okay. I'm Nita Walker. I live on Elmhurst. And at the fireworks on the 4th, I had 200 people on my block.
On Elmhurst?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
It was no crowd control. They were shooting the fireworks in front of my house. I couldn't say nothing because it's 200 people. You know, the police came through. They had to wait until they moved them fireworks so the police can drive by. Is there a certain amount of people that can have these parties and stuff? How many people can be on the block?
Gotta do some regulation.
Yeah, we need some type of crowd control regulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
My name is Janet Spite White, Richton. I've been my family off and on for over 60 years. Highland Park is residential where all this is going on. Residential. Back in the day, we had fireworks where we would go and everybody would watch and bring their chairs and watch over there. Back in there, then the day was like a DSR site. I forget what it was called, but we used to come and have a good time. This Avalon Village is not good for Highland Park. Highland Park makes nothing off of this. Plus, it's crowd control. I live in not far, but the thing is, who's doing crowd control? Who's doing the fairness, the trash, the safety? I mean, all this is coming in and nothing's staying with us. Nothing. And it just hurts me to see a residential block and neighbors around here. We have to live like this. We have to go through, but take this in the service like she was saying. You would never see council approve of having this. This should have been nipped in the bud because it's not fair. It's not fair for what goes on. They make money. All those vendors make money, you know, and the city, we need money, but not off the residents. The residents need peace. We live on this block, on these blocks. We take care of our property and we don't have the peace that we're asking for. And please, City Council, please address this. This is very important to keep Highland Park clean and the way it should be without all these outsiders coming in. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Robert Douglas Lodge Jr., East Grand Brush Cul-de-sacs Block Club President. Please correct me if I'm wrong. The City Council meetings are for City Council to make business and handle their business, but it's also for the voice of the citizens to be heard. They're formatted for our opportunities to share our concerns. And since March, I've shared several concerns and asked questions, and not one has yet to be answered. And so if we're going to give citizens an opportunity to voice their concerns, please take time to give them an answer to their concerns. I also want to share with the council to inform you that in the very near future, a proposal will be coming to you to reopen the strip club on 6 Mile and Woodward Avenue, formerly known as Deja Vu, currently known as the Playground. I am standing as a citizen along with many other citizens who have signed a petition opposing the reopening of this strip club. Our concerns are as follows: negative impact on families and youth, increase in crime and safety concerns, devaluation of property and economic decline, disruption of community character. Highland Park is going in a different direction. We're not going back to the 70s, we're going forward. And so I'm asking that this council take in consideration the voice of taxpaying citizens and those citizens who elected you to be in this office to stand up and fight for them and say no to this strip club. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, My name is Douglas Holly, lifetime resident. This is going to be very short and brief. I just want to thank you, council, for coming up last Wednesday to support Reggie McKenzie. 52 years he's been serving this community, and pretty much I was one of the first ones out of his camp when it started in '74 to go to college and play professional ball, and the tree just and the path just went on through. But it was to me, it was special to give him his flowers now. And a lot of the guys that played for the Little League football team and junior highs at the time came to support. It was a great event. So council that came, I just want to say thank you for the support.
Welcome.
And we just keep moving forward.
Amen. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, we're gonna move into council affairs. We have an item to address.
Council President.
I'm sorry. Yes, we got people online.
One online.
I have Ms. Nichols. Ms. Nichols, you go ahead and unmute.
Yes, sir. Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, City Council. I really appreciated today's meeting. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but I appreciate the efficiency and timeliness and the discussion. My name is Shamika Nichols, resident of Highland Park, over on Tyler Street, right off of Hamilton, and the executive director at Solidarity. Just a couple of, in addition to just thanking the way this process went, considerations that you all gave. I just want to highlight that Solidarity will continue to present hopefully a resolution very soon regarding our solar power streetlights on Florence and Louise. We've been attempting to work with various departments to make sure our paperwork is tight before bringing that to you. In addition, we have the Whole Homes, Whole Communities program, which is to bring home repairs, weatherization, and solar to residents. And so we want to share some more with that. And we also Wayne County Resilience Hub Network, where we'll be doing some repairs on 21 Highland Street, which is our current office. And I guess I wanted to ask, but I'm not sure if this is the correct platform. What is the best way to be able to share information in a way that's really condensed, kind of just like updates as we go, aside from the 2 minutes we have here. I know some have provided their phone numbers and we have relationships, but just wondering how to disseminate information to all of you at the same time.
You can email me, Ms. Nichols. And so the protocol is always through the chair. It always has been that way. We haven't always done that. It's very easy. Anything that comes to me, I'll forward it. The timestamp is typically there. It's nothing that comes to me that I sit on unless I omit it. I have 4 email accounts. I'm just sure people out there with more than 1 email account. That would be the only other reason it would be a delay because I'm on another email account. It's not really an issue to be able to get that out to council. So any information that you wanted to disseminate to us, you could forward it in to me. If it's specific for city council, send it to me. If it's specific for the administration, please send it to the administration. We don't commingle our activity. They are responsible for theirs. We are responsible for ours. So I will be happy to forward anything on that you would have for us. And then you will be included on the email that goes out. And that way you will have the individual email addresses of all the council if you don't have them right now.
Excellent. Thank you so much, President. And then the last point I just wanted to make really quickly and briefly, just as a resident, on behalf of Avalon Village, I attended the fireworks. And I was really grateful and appreciative that my children had something to be able to participate in that was safe. I understand that there were a lot of people, but in comparison to taking them downtown where there actually was a shooting, to me, Highland Park definitely needs to have more gatherings like the events that Avalon Village is producing. And if there are concerns, then perhaps the elders of the community could petition for or host similar events so that youth in this community can begin to be involved and to begin to have the same experiences that a lot of our elders are speaking on that they had in their time. So I yield at that, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to move into council affairs, starting with Mr. Shafi in the third district. He has a resolution that was.
I had my
Ma'am.
hand, you know.
Yes, ma'am. You know, I'm a hold. Now, are you speaking as a mayor? Or are you speaking as Glenda McDonald?
I'm speaking as both. And trust me, I won't lose
Minutes and
time.
30.
I want to address Mr. Reverend Lodge. Mr. Lodge, council, my question, if you would send email to this address, you can get your questions answered. We need you to send those directly to the administration so that we can answer your questions directly. If there's results that we can get to you, that will happen. So please use the email that I gave. There's a citizen sitting in office who sends out emails, who gets their questions answered, or they get a response. It may not be the answer that you want. So again, the question is the email is T Rollins, ROLLNS at highlandparkmi.gov, or you can call 313-252-0050, extension 240. The administration is available. On Wednesday, I would like to see you at a meeting, or either at 10 or 5. That's a good get your answers, or I can get them written down. The other thing is I would like to address the comment made by Councilman Ashafi about politicizing our website or our communication. That is illegal. No one should be politicking in the city hall. Now, t-shirts, no comments, no. Use a government website to put your politics on, or what you say campaigning is an illegal thing. That has not happened. That will never happen. So I don't know where you got that from, but okay, I'll go along with that. That's what you think is happening. That's it, Council President. I'm done.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. Mr. El Shafi, council affairs, floor is yours. You had something you wanted to bring forward. So this is under item 7. Typically under council affairs, we get addresses from the individual district members. And this is Mr. El Shafi's time on the floor. This is item 7A. 7A, this is a resolution to Mr. El Shafi. Would you please read your resolution?
Yes, Council President. Resolution to add Bishop Lewis E. Evans as a secondary name for John R. Street from McNichols to Fair Street to honor the contributions of Bishop Lewis E. Evans to the community of Highland Park. Whereas Bishop Lewis E. Evans is the founder and senior pastor of Soul Harvest Ministries, established in May 1994 in Highland Park, Michigan, by the inspiration of the Holy Ghost. And whereas over 30 years, Soul Harvest Ministries has been a pillar of the Highland Park community, offering critical services such as food and clothing distributions, youth and senior programs, space for community events, and a consistent safe haven for all residents. And whereas Bishop Evans also serves as the presiding pastor of the Soul Harvest Ministry, of the Soul Winners Evangelists and Discipline Makers International Fellowship, a multi network of churches founded in 1996 with a mission to train and engage behavior in the ministries of Jesus Christ. And whereas Bishop Lewis Evans' commitment to spiritual leadership is rooted in both a lifelong call for a profound academic foundation, including degrees from Detroit Bible College, California Graduate School of Theology, Ashland Theological Seminary, and Cumberland, however you say this, in a doctor of theology and degrees in 1994. And whereas Bishop Evans has demonstrated decades of compassionate leadership, civic engagement, and unwavering love for people through his ongoing work and local, state, and federal partners to meet the needs of Highland Park residents. And whereas he is also a devoted husband, Dr. Elaine Evans, a father, grandfather, and great-grandfather whose family continues his legacy of ministry with his eldest daughter, Pastor Brenda, serving as lead pastor. And whereas Bishop Evans is widely respected as a visionary, a pastor of pastors, a powerful teacher of the word, and leader of whose spiritual and academic gifts have impacted thousands, both locally and nationally. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Highland Park City Council hereby honors the lifelong service and legacy of Bishop Lewis E. Evans, by designating Bishop Lewis E. Evans Boulevard as the secondary name for John R. Street from McNichols to 6 Mile Road to Ferris Street, now and forevermore. Be it further resolved that, that appropriate signage reflecting this honorary designation be erected along the specific segment of John R. Street in recognition of Bishop Evans' enduring contributions to the spiritual, civic, and social well-being of the city of Highland Park.
City Council, how would you like to proceed on item 7A? Motion for the resolution to add Bishop Evans as a secondary name for John R. Street. City Council, how would you like to proceed?
I can motion.
Make the motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the resolution. Do we have support?
It's up to y'all. I would go yes.
You know you would.
The man's gonna get his full minute too.
Can you read it one more time?
Oh, no, I'm not doing that.
Mr. Al Shafi, I would, your motion is gonna die for lack of support. Since it was not killed, that means it can come back.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Martin,
I will bring it back, Council President.
Council Affairs.
Oh,
Hold on a second.
Oh,
Yeah, I still had a little bit.
I was gonna say, we're not
I
saying the
know,
word.
right.
No, why?
We agreed to 5 minutes or less. Right now, we at 2.5 on that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I'll try to speed this up as fast as I can. I agree with you that there should be some regulations on outdoor major events, okay? I got no problem with Avalon doing what it's doing. It just needs to be considerate of the residents in the area in which they're doing it. Maybe Avalon can think of another place to hold their venue and still call it Avalon Village. There are plenty of places in the city where they can be held, as opposed to inconveniencing an entire section of town. Having said that, council is looking into something about that. So we are working on that currently. Number two, if you have not had an opportunity to go to Idlewild, Michigan, a historic Black town, my advice to you, ladies and gentlemen, is to get there. Once I got there, I almost didn't want to leave. Okay, it's my responsibilities here that drug me back. Okay, you are talking about a town where it was founded by freed Black slaves and is still operated to this very day by the descendants of those slaves. They're still there and they're still doing wonderful. If you can get there, get there. I went there for the jazz festival. It was amazing. I did not want to leave. Okay, Idlewild is on the rise and I hope you be a part of it. Having said that, we get to the ugliness of the hour, okay? I know every single one of you saw Fox 2 News. I know you saw it. And I know you heard the chief call me a racist. He didn't say alleged racist. He called me a racist. A white man calling a Black man in this day and age a racist, I find that funny. I find that offensive. I find it abusive. And I want the city to know that I will be suing for that slander, and I will be suing the chief individually for that slander. He should have said allegedly. His partner should have taught him that. My partner taught me to say alleged. So he should have said that. Now, I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, I know I can be a pisser. I already know it. I know I am an acquired taste like liver and onions. I'm really not here to be anybody's friend. I'm here to make sure to do my job, to make sure that you got what you need, to make sure that this city functions the way that it should function and not the way that they want to function. But to be called such names by an employee of this city, if it was the previous council, you know already, if this was Rodney and him, you know that he would be fired, okay? But I don't have the support of my council for that. I already know they're not gonna do that, okay? So understand me. This is not over by far, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to continue this fight. I will not sit here and allow anybody to call me such a name. Now, if he had said that I was prejudiced, I get that. Everybody has prejudice. Okay, everybody don't like something or dislike something. That's the word he should have used. But to call me a racist, unacceptable. I am not a racist, and I don't appreciate it. This coming from a man who was allegedly fired from Dearborn for calling residents out there saying names. The same man who was allegedly fired from Detroit for stealing cars out of the tow yard, and when he was about to get arrested and thrown in jail, he turned snitch against his fellow officers. This is the same interim police chief. Ask yourself why he's still interim and he's not chief yet. Ask yourself that question. This is the same man who can't get a job anywhere else, so he drives 2 hours from where he lives to work here.
Shafi.
Explain that one to me.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
So this is not over by far, ladies and gentlemen. I
Thank you
love you,
very much,
HP.
sir.
I'll get back to you soon.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Martin, can you do this in under 5 minutes? I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's additional 25 minutes at the end of every meeting. I just set 5 minutes as a limit because I'm not keeping y'all here for an hour. Okay. So Ms. Martin, please, I know you can do it in 5 minutes. I was just teasing. Go ahead.
Okay, first thing I want to say is I got a couple of things. One, I did request a moratorium for special residential events. I'm not sure what happened with that. I did email my constituents, but it seemed like it didn't go anywhere until we settle an ordinance on, guidance on having a special event, such as having 100,000 or more people inside Highland Park. We don't have the adequate parking or anything like that. My background in having events like that, there's a lot that it takes to have put on such a big event and put it on every weekend and getting people, because it's not just about having the event. It's also about when they leave. The event's not over until everybody leaves. And then there's a cleanup process that takes place too. All that has to be factored in. is the young, she's not here. Did she leave? The young lady that stood up? Yes, she's gone. Okay, so yeah, and then the noise there, all of that has to play a factor. All of that has to be considered. It's interesting that we called a special meeting last year to talk about that, and it got canceled before we can really sink teeth into that discussion. I would like and hope that we address that again and have two different type events. There's the event that's called just a permit event, which that would be like family reunions, Passover, stuff like that. But then there's a special event. Special event would be something that would cause the police to be there or the fire department. So that's what the ordinance needs to set up. But those special events, resident space is not for that. So that's what I want to cover. I don't know what happened to the moratorium that I called. Second, I do want to get with Shamika Nichols about the whole homes. I do want to talk to you about that. And then we addressed the strip club and talk about that has to get out of here. I think before we even consider that, one thing that needs to leave is the that building that's by Little Caesars Pizza. It's drawing a crowd, and that crowd seems to be bigger, and it's all over the city. Also, that what is it? The Rainbow on Hamilton. That the type of people that they're bringing into a city, we sit up there and need to get rid of that first. What were you saying?
No.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
We need to get that out of the city.
I have any comments from the audience, please?
So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say thank you for being here with us tonight, coming out. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Manica. Have a great night.
Good evening, everyone. Just to address a couple of things. One, we talked about earlier, if you were not here at the workshop, a lot of things that came forward tonight was discussed at the workshop in regards to ordinance. Also, we have a list of ordinance, and so we spoke about special events and vendoring, the number of people on the street. There are several others that I've put on the list that City Council is going to look at, give their opinions or some thoughts about, as well as I asked McKenna, or I did during the workshop, to look at actually creating that ordinance. That ordinance is really big, so it's going to incorporate, just so we know, it's going to incorporate a lot of pieces. That's the parking piece, being on residence property, blocking off a street, blocking off an alley, having parking, charging for vendoring. So that's a bit much. So that's why I'm asking that McKenna sit down and actually cut out time to actually put to that. There's no waiting and everybody here is going to add. We're going to get specifics, and we're going to get how other cities do it and how does it fit Highland Park, because definitely that's not the area. For big events, we should have a spot. We should either have a community center, we should have an area of land that we do things on. Most cities do. For example, is it Clawson? They had their park. Madison Heights, they have their area that's centered around City Hall, a park, etc. The fire department's there. And so when you have events of that magnitude, it does change the thing. It changed the whole dramatics, because when I have to, or not myself, but when the city has to call in additional fire, additional police, additional ambulance, then that's a cost. That cost does not go to the city. That cost goes to that individual event. And I'm not singling out Avalon Village, because this is going to affect everybody. Once that becomes an ordinance, that goes for Highland Park Business Association, that goes for your block club, that goes for anybody. And I think somebody mentioned it, somebody having a party, inviting 300 people. So how many people are allotted on the street? Those are all the questions we want answered in that ordinance. Can you block off a street? If you block off the street, what happens when that happens? Do you charge? And then the other piece of parking, that's a little bit more. And again, I've stated several times to the city, we need to look into parking. Either parking meters, having a building, parking structure. It don't have to be 15, just 2, So in certain areas, different things for certain areas can be done. So we are looking in that, and we will, as a city council, be continuing to create a list of ordinance that we can look at and prioritize on them. Going to the strip club, no, by all means, I don't think we should have a strip club here. I do think that just like you're coming here, please make sure you attend the zoning and planning, because technically it goes to zoning and planning before it gets to city council. So you need to tell zoning and planning also, don't plan for it. Do something different. Also speak to the people in that area by all means. The other part was that the young lady mentioned, when you are having a big event, regardless to the size, you should consider your residents.
Absolutely.
And ask them. And so it's actually in the ordinance that you are to get a list of people who say, yes, I don't mind. Yes, it's okay. If you don't, then you haven't supplied everything you need. So again, once that's done, hopefully that will be done way before the end of summer, to manage those. In the meantime, because we can only go by the ordinance that we have, that means that the administration has to handle it however they see fit, be it ticketing, being shutting it down, or whatever, or coming up to a compromise with whoever's having that event, and it does have to come before council. Please don't wait till the last hour, though. I'm gonna be honest. Please don't wait till last hour to decide that you want us to have a meeting, make a special resolution, come to appoint that. Other than that, I just want to say again, thank you to our services of the fire department this week with seniors. And I say with seniors because I believe it was a senior person. And also getting DTA out there to handle those situations and just how they've been. So please, if you get a chance, give them some recognition. Also, I actually think our police department do some good events as well. But I was just speaking on the fire department today because that's what was given to me all week long about what they did in the area. It was something else someone wanted to be covered. I can't remember. Remember again that city council only does certain things. And so please go out to those other departments, those other meetings, and express your sentiments. I look forward to Barbara seems to be doing a lot of great things. I don't know if you've seen them lately in a lot of their commercials, and they sit right next to one of our actual parks.
I'm running the clock on the wrong.
So
I'm teasing you.
am I at 5?
You over.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well over.
Okay. Well, I am done. Again, thank you guys, and I hope to see you too soon. And cake and shakes. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Madam Pro Tem.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. And again, I appreciate you for being here, and I also wanted to reiterate the fact that we're going to have to pay cash to pay your bills until we get a policy on the credit card. And such. And I just had 2 questions for the clerk. On March the 6th, I asked for the signed, dated, and filed copies of resolutions from January 3rd, 2023 to the present. And you instructed me that they are all in our minutes. And I didn't know if that was the proper procedure as to how you file them. Do you file the minutes, or do you file the actual resolution that's dated and signed and the days and the names? Can you answer that question for me?
The resolutions are part of your minutes. They are not an official record until they go into the minutes. Just because it has down there that my name is signed, I do not sign off resolutions. Resolutions are reflected in the minutes, and the council minutes are the official records, not the copy of the resolution that is submitted with the council item. Another question.
Did you send new grid.
And I think I responded to you.
Respond. Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you for responding. Do you have any, do we send a new bid out for towing? Yeah.
I haven't placed an ad. That's something that's handled by the police department when they want an ad to be advertised.
Thank you so
But I
much.
haven't received.
Thank you so much. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you. All of you.
Okay. So I didn't have anything for, I only had one item for the affairs, but as I listened, I found some other things that are worth talking about. And I'll start with probably the most pressing. The children in Highland Park are not the children of legacy Highland Parkers. Let me say that again. The children in Highland Park, the majority of the kids here are not the children of legacy Highland Parkers. They're people who have moved here over the years. And when the people in their 50s, the average Highland Parker that went to the high school was in their late 40s, 50s, 60s, more or less. When you're gone, there are not going to be any children in this city that are legacy Highland Parkers unless you have your grandkids in this city. This is not, I'm not making this up. This is just the demographics. I was sitting here trying to figure this out. Why am I saying that? Because when I grew up on the east side of Detroit, I had things that happened in my community, whether it was the 4-H club, the Capuchin Mission, the Boy Scouts, the Nation of Islam, Akiba Line. There were things that happened in our community that made living on the southeast side of Detroit memorable enough for me to talk about it at 54 years old. I don't know of anything else happening in the city of Highland Park. I don't know of anything else happening in the city of Highland Park for children. And I would say in a calendar year, Avalon Village thing has been going on about 10 years. In a calendar year, it might be 6 to, let's call it 10 days. Let's call it 10 days of a 100-day summer and 10 days of a 365-day year that there's an event. And I think I'm overstepping it. The vast majority of the time, the other activities that are going on there right now, there's a drumming camp, there's a sewing camp, there's a STEM camp. If you haven't gone over there during the week, during the summer, there are kids over there every day. There are children that are there every day. And there's nothing, when I say there's nothing else, the Boys and Girls Club is on the north side of town. It's not as active as Avalon Village. And I want to make sure that we keep remembering that that entity rose out of a tragedy of a child. And in response to that tragedy, the founder decided, let me make sure I have something for the kids over here. So the stuff that happens for adults, 10 days out of a 365-day year, the other 365 days are the children's activities going on there. I heard the residents say that there were about 200 people on the corner of Elmhurst. So who do we hold responsible for that? I can drive up and down Hamilton on Sunday and I can see the donut marks where people have been doing the donuts there. Who do we hold responsible for that? What I'm afraid of is, see, I like doers. I got multiple jobs and I do a lot of stuff. I don't do a lot of talking, I do a lot of working. And I like doers. And what happens is you push the doers out of the room if all they get is criticism. And what's going to happen is if it shuts down, then what? If there's no more activities like that, then what? And then what? So that's that. This is in response to what the other people have said. I'm glad that Ms. Manica and Ms. Martin have taken that position on working on those ordinances. We had talked about it for a long time, and I think it really needs to be there. But I just wanted to keep that in perspective. My job is balance. I'm a mediator by training. So and as a chairman, I am supposed to be fairly neutral other than my 1/5 vote. We have to make sure that we have balance because that place facilitates opportunities for children in Highland Park where there is nothing else. Search your mind right now and tell me what else is going on in the city for these kids. Not, right. And so right. And I don't recall you talking when anybody else was speaking. Thank you, ma'am. So my other point that I wanted to raise is that last week in the paper, we were able to see the following headline in the city of Detroit. It said, City of Detroit Land Bank has sold over 30,000 vacant side lots to residents in the city, making a major milestone. Another headline here, Land Bank marking milestone after selling 30,000 lots since the program launched. They are 45 times the size of Highland Park. They are 45 times the size of Highland Park. And in our tenure, we probably sold a dozen side lots, maybe. They've sold 30,000. And if you go through and look at this, members of council, if you go look at these news stories, what Mayor Duggan is saying, he's trying to make sure that these lots are in the hands of the community before the big developers get there. And I will say again, when side lots come up, please consider giving those side lots to the people who live here. Like I said before, my children, your children are not from Highland Park. Most of the new residents, the children that are going to be here are not going to be from Highland Park. Their parents are not going to, they didn't go to the high school. So when we allow people to get the side lot next to their grandmama's house or the side lot next to their auntie's house and it expands the footprint, that's the house where the family reunion is hosted. Because Black folks, we don't got no big land. We don't have no parks of our own. That's where the repast is held in the city of Highland Park. The person who got the big yard. Okay, that's where the baby shower and the birthday party is held in the yard of the people, the houses in this city where they got the big yard. So I have been saying this since my first day. I'm all in favor of making sure that we get this side lot thing together so that the residents can get a hold of those side lots. That's important to me. I want to thank everybody here for their activity tonight. We got some stuff done. Having concluded all business related to the city of Highland Park, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.